I'm Ennis Ranson, and welcome to Talking Wardrobe. Today, I'm joined by the incredible mindset coach, Izzy Utterson, where she'll be sharing her amazing advice on how purpose and perspective can play a huge impact on your personal style. So, Izzy, what are you wearing today?
I'm wearing today, I actually pulled this together, but I'm actually really happy with this outfit. I feel
I
like
love it.
This might be my uniform going forward. Skims top.
Yes,
always.
can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. The belt is ASOS. I get all my accessories, I feel like, from ASOS.
Do
Because I'll order
you?
like loads of belts at the same time, like try them all out, see what works. These are Citizens for Humanity.
They are such
I'm
great
obsessed with them.
trousers.
And they come in lots of different colorways and they're so flattering on like every shape, every height. They're such a good pair. I have no bum and they give me a bum. So that's perfect. And then the boots are these H&M like ankle boots.
Oh, love.
That if you wore with anything other than a long trouser, I feel like would be horrible. But with the long trouser really work because they're like weird, like wide.
We're hiding it.
But these are the things I've sold the most of on LTK. Ever,
Really?
Ever. Like when I post these boots, people go absolutely feral for them. So
How much are the boots?
like 40 quid.
Oh, so they're a bargain.
Yeah. But H&M boots, I swear by. I'll wear them until they go to that like metal point where it like wears off and I'm like, oh, should I get them resold? And like, probably should just
get the new pair.
Yeah.
I need the link of the trousers.
Yeah, I'll send them to you.
They're
Send
very
you the whole
good.
fit.
How would you describe your style?
I think my style is probably quite like form-fitting things. I think for a long time, and obviously I speak about this a lot on my page, I'd put on a bit of weight and didn't feel very comfortable in my body. So I tried to hide my body a lot with what I was wearing, but I think it actually just wasn't sitting on me quite right. I don't like things that are super tight. I don't like things that are super short. I like things that are quite modest, but I like it to be form-fitting and kind of like show off your figure without kind of showing too much of it off. And I've got quite a long torso, so I'm always trying to like elongate the look of my legs and like shorten the length of my torso with a belt or something like that. So yeah, my style's quite like practical every day. I don't really switch it up too much. I would say it's more like elevated basics is what I try and go for.
I love that. We all need elevated basics. And also if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
So you've built such a strong, relatable presence online. What did confidence look like for you before your social media journey?
So I guess confidence for me, I was always very confident in terms of being on a stage. I always did public speaking, whether that was debating, acting, singing, whatever it was. I loved being on a stage.
Really?
Loved the spotlight. But when it came to socially, so like even if we'd go and see my grandma, I couldn't even say hello to her. I was so cripplingly shy, even with someone as close as my grandma. Like if it was outside of my mum, my dad and my brother, couldn't speak, like cripplingly anxious.
That's crazy, but get on a stage.
But getting on a stage, I was absolutely fine. And it was always that way. And I think for me, confidence really shone through when I would be at work, because I worked in corporate for about 8 years. And for me, confidence in there looks like when I would get to present in front of the boardroom, when I'd get to do all of those different things. Like that for me was something that was really exciting. The same at uni, the same at every job I had. So I think where that's not necessarily a huge part of life, because for me, that's really my passion, is public speaking and kind of performing. So where I wasn't fulfilling that, I think my confidence was quite low because I wasn't filling that cup from anywhere. Like I would have the odd presentation I would do at work, the odd meeting, but nothing that was really fulfilling that, like scratching that itch, like nothing was really filling that cup. So I think confidence for me before that really was just working on that confidence in myself socially, really working on how I could have a conversation, walk into a room and kind of hold my head high, and working on little things like body language, so posture, where your eyes go when you talk to people, learning little tricks that would make me feel more confident, even if inside I was like burning up, which was how it was. So things like when you don't want to look someone in the eye, like looking them in between the eyes or looking at the tip of their nose because it looks like you're looking at them in the eye.
That's a great tip.
Or posture, I learned a great thing for posture, which is if you want your posture to be good and you want to appear confident, imagine that you're shooting laser beams out of your nipples at people's heads.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I always think about when I walk
like
around
I need
now.
to sit up a bit more
exactly.
now.
I'm always like, right, when I walk around, imagine that I'm shooting laser beams out my nipples to people's heads. And that is the best way to fix your posture, is one of the things I learned. So I was like, oh, that's great. So I think before I was doing social media, I was always kind of working on like faking it till I made it in terms of confidence. I definitely didn't have that body confidence. I would say I still struggle quite a lot with body confidence. It's something I've struggled with since I can remember. Like I'm being 7 years old, and I was very much of that culture of, you know, magazines, TV, like commenting on women's bodies. So I remember being 7 years old, blowing out the candles on my birthday cake and wishing to be skinny. Like that was what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I've never actually spoken about that before. And it just came to me. But I think working through that to a place where I'm at now, where through, I think, the speaking and through bringing something to the table other than how I look. Because I think actually like what I bring to the table now and what I do, I feel so good in what I do and I feel so passionate about what I do. And that's why I always say it's so important to find your ikigai, to find your purpose, because I think finding your purpose and your passion, be that whatever it is in life, gives you that confidence, because confidence in what you do and self-confidence are two different things. But I think confidence in what you do kind of bleeds into self-confidence a little bit. So that's brought me that to the point now, I don't really think about my body like that anymore, because I'm sort of like, that's not all I bring to the table. But I think for a long time, I thought that looks and body were all I brought to the table. So finding my voice on social media has really given me that confidence I was missing, I think.
I love that. And I think just that mind shift of, I'm not just, what I look like, and there's so
100%.
much more to me. And I think if people can really focus on that, and like you said, if you find something you're passionate about and love, do you think people use clothes to hide themselves and can swap that around?
100%, because I was using clothes to hide myself for the longest time. And I'll still sometimes, and I'll speak to Lauren about it, Lauren Paxton, who's helped me with some styling. And I'll say like, oh no, I can't wear that. I need to hide a bit more. And she's like, no, you don't. She's like, you don't need to hide actually. And we're not talking about like wearing nothing, but we're just talking about things that are going to kind of accentuate your features. And I think the older I get, the more I learn how to dress. And also I learn that my body is different to the next person's body, to the next person's body. Like we all have different shapes and sizes, and that is amazing. And we're all going to look different in different things. And I think not trying to fit into the clothes, but finding the clothes that fit me. Like my best friend always says to me with jeans, for instance, like I feel the best in jeans now that I buy the size that feels good.
Yes.
I'm not like, okay, I have to fit into this waist size because that was the waist size I was when I was at my smallest, or that was the waist size when I felt like, no, it might just be different from the different brand. So I think learning how to buy clothes, not according to the size, but according to the fit and the feel, has been a game changer for how I feel confident in dressing.
I think that's so true, because I don't actually know my waist size in jeans, because I just ignore it, because I know that in every store it's so different.
So different.
And I think, like you said, when there's so much pressure on, I think especially like when it's new mums and they have to get back into their jeans, it's like, says who?
Says who? Exactly. Like I've got this pair of jeans like that I've actually just now like thrown out, but it was like the ones I had from the age of 19. I was like, you're 28 and nearly 29. Like you're not the same body type as when you were 19, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to fit into those.
And it's fine.
Exactly. But I kept them for the longest time. And I'm like, why did you do that?
Oh, I've got boxes full that somehow I think I'm going to wear them
like
again.
One day.
Yeah. It's not happening. And I'm okay with that.
And that's okay. Yeah, exactly. I'm fine with it.
Do you ever struggle with comparison on social media?
Not in terms of looks, actually. Like I've gotten to a really good place with my body and how I look. And don't get me wrong, like I have off days. I have days like certain times of the month where I'm like, what's going on? And your body just feels different and your head's in a certain place. But no, I don't really. And I think this was the first summer that I put on a bikini and I just went out. I wasn't stood in the mirror like picking myself apart. I just put it on and I was like, I call it like the zoom out method, because how I used to look in the mirror was very much zooming in on all my insecurities. And what I try and do now is like zoom out almost and see myself as like a whole. I'm like, yeah, great. Like looks good. I'm not going to zoom in on the fact that there's a bit of cellulite there or that's poking out a bit there. I'm just going to look at the whole thing and be like, yeah, okay, great, perfect. Don't get me wrong. There are things that are like not flattering on me that just aren't flattering. And like my best friend would tell me that's not flattering on you.
What are friends for?
What are friends for? But there are certain things where it's like, that's actually just a bit in your head. And I think working on my mindset has given me such a different perspective on my body. And I think lots of different health things has given me such a different perspective on my body and how lucky I am to have the body that I have, where I view it differently. Comparison on social media, I think I compare different things. I compare like success and opportunity and numbers and things like that. And I think it's hard to, in an industry that we're in where numbers are public for everyone to see. You know, it's not a company where no one can see your sales and no one can see your revenue and no one can see that. Everyone can see your numbers on social media. And I think that I struggled with for a very long time. But in terms of comparison, not really anymore.
I love the zoom out theory. Yeah. I think that is everything.
Zoom out. I'm like, just zoom out.
And I bet you just had such a nicer day.
I just don't think about it. I'm not that bothered. Like we were on a holiday a few days ago and I was sat, it was the first day of my period. I was sat in a bikini, I was eating my lunch and I was just like,
here I am.
I was like, here I am.
I was like best life.
And it's just, and like, don't get me wrong. Like I work out and I eat well and I feel like I'm in a good place with how I feel about my body. But even, for me, that's a huge thing because like 5-10 years ago, I was like striving to be this tiny size and I put on a lot of weight and I couldn't kind of figure out where I was. And it was all I thought about was how I looked. And it's just not something that crosses my mind as much anymore.
I think that's such an amazing. How have you got to that stage? Just working on yourself and mindset?
I think the mindset weirdly has changed everything and finding my purpose, because I think for a long time I attributed how I looked with the only thing was bringing to the table. It was like the only thing that mattered was I a certain size? Did I look a certain way? What was I bringing to the table? I was very boy focused growing up. Like that was like, I was very like, always had a boyfriend and like that was my main focus and how I looked, like that was just what we all cared about. And we grew up in that Tumblr generation where it was such a thing. And I think I just moving away from that, and I had psoriasis really badly. And so that was kind of hard because I then sort of had to look outside myself for that value, because suddenly my body didn't look like anyone else's. Suddenly it looked very different and I was quite sick and, was in hospital with it. So I think that forced me a little bit out of myself. And then I put on a lot of weight. And then when I kind of started to lose the weight and, started to feel better in myself, I think I was just so grateful to have that well body that wasn't attacking itself anymore, that it kind of just started to go. And then I think in finding my passion and finding my purpose and helping and speaking to so many other women, it puts things into perspective for you massively as to what matters and what doesn't. And I think as well, it is just growing up a bit.
Very,
I don't know
true.
if it, I think as women we do, and people in general, we do struggle with body image, and that's something that doesn't go away necessarily ever. And I think as someone who has struggled with eating disorders of varying types, that noise probably won't ever go away, but it's definitely a lot quieter now.
Which is amazing. But like you said, takes work and takes time.
Absolutely.
And that's what's so amazing. And I love with your page, especially when you do your Ask My Questions. Yeah. Every question is something that I want to ask.
Yeah.
And I just feel you've got a lovely community of people who feel that you can really help and guide them. And I guess through going through these experiences yourself. But how do you set boundaries because you're so visible now on social media?
How do I? I'm like, I don't know. I think the good thing about what I do is, and I always say it to myself, and whenever I talk to my therapist about it, because I can get quite in my head with things, I am on social media it's a job.
Yes.
It's a purpose. I'm there for a purpose, and the purpose is to kind of help women reignite that glow, reignite that spark, feel better about themselves. That's what I'm there for. There are certain people you follow because you want to know about their life, right? You want to know about their relationship. You want to know what they're doing every single day. That's not, I don't think, why people follow me. And so that gives me that kind of piece, a little bit of like, there might be the odd question, and it's like, and more so recently about like, what are you wearing? What's this? What that? Because I think I built that trustworthiness, because I will not recommend a product, whether it's clothing, beauty, skincare, makeup, I don't mind. If I don't love it, I won't recommend it. Like I won't recommend a brand, won't recommend a product unless I absolutely loved it. And I think I built that trust and that community up. But I don't share my personal life so much. Like I share things going on in my personal life, but I'm like very aware that people are there for the glow up tips.
Yes.
And I'm good with that.
I think that's so lovely because it's so much less invasive.
Yes.
And it doesn't feel as you're giving too much away of yourself.
Totally.
Do you believe you should dress like the person you want to be, or the person you are now?
100% the person you want to be. Like 1000%. And that goes into, there's so much neuroscience behind dressing like the person you want to be. And I think it, for a lot of us, is the easiest and funnest way to show up as that dream version of you. I always talk about the steps to kind of becoming that glowed up version of you. Number one is creating that blueprint, that Sims character. Who do I want to be? What do they look like? How do they talk? How do they walk? What do they dress like? Like when I was kind of on that journey, really like at the beginning, remember looking at, people around me and kind of thinking, okay, what are they wearing? How do they wear it? how do they style it, and kind of thinking like, okay, and not copying it, but embodying that kind of confidence and way of dressing in how I would dress. And when I make investments into buying pieces, thinking, okay, what does the woman that I want to be, what's she going to wear on stage for a talk? Like I put this pair of shoes on my close friend stories recently. I was in Paris and I was like, do I need these shoes? And obviously everyone replied saying yes.
So you bought the shoes?
So I bought the shoes. But one of my friends said to me, just imagine yourself doing a talk on stage in those shoes. And I was like, sold.
It was that easy.
It was that easy, because then I go into the visualization of picturing myself wearing those shoes, doing a TED talk, or on a stage doing, you know what I mean? Like I picture myself doing it. And I think whenever I would picture myself in certain situations, it's important when you do visualization, and it's incredibly powerful. It's not woo-woo. There is so much neuroscience behind it. It is so important to get very sensory with that visualization. What can you hear? What can you see? What can you feel? Down to the clothes on your body. What does that dream version of me wear? And I remember seeing an interview someone did, and they spoke about, would Rosie Huntington-Whiteley wear this? Or would this dream version of, would they own this piece of clothing? And I think when you're going through your wardrobe and doing that detox, it's important to think like, okay, does the dream version of me wear this? Do they dress like this? If you are wanting to do a kind of wardrobe detox or something like that, and when investing in pieces, thinking the same. Does this align with the highest version of me? And it's not that you have to go out and buy lots of things and throw everything out. You could literally go through Pinterest, make that vision board of the person you want to be, and think, okay, right, what outfits can I pull together? Because what you're going to do when dressing like that is you're literally going to step into that version of you, and you tell your mind and you tell your subconscious mind, okay, we're becoming that person already because we're stepping into it. It doesn't seem like this far distant future thing. It's like we're already doing this. So opportunities that align with that version of you will start to appear as if by magic, but it's not by magic.
So you basically, in a way, are manifesting the new
Exactly.
you.
Absolutely. You're stepping into that version of you, because in order to manifest, in order to become that version of you, it's not just as simple as, and I always say, you can't just put it on a vision board because it will die on the page. You have to then act. You have to act to become.
Yes.
It's like if you want to fall asleep, you have to pretend to be asleep. If you want to become that dream version of you, you've got to start dressing, walking, talking, and acting like that version of you, and making decisions based on that version of you. You have to act to become. And I'm so big on that. And if the only way you can do that is by starting to dress like that person, by switching up your outfits with what you already own, do it like that, because you've got to fake it till you make it.
That's so true. If I have got a good outfit on, I feel like my day goes so much better. Things happen.
100%.
I've got my hair blow dried and I'm feeling good.
I was talking to this about, I would be in the face class, I was talking about this recently, because they were like, oh, Izzy, I bet you're like that sicko that wears jeans at home. And I am.
I think I saw this on your Instagram.
And I always have been. And my friend Imogen replied, she was like, you're so sick in the head, but I actually understand what you're saying when I posted about it, because if I'm going to be filming content, working, like I worked in corporate for a long time, and whenever I would work from home, I had like something in me has to get dressed if I'm going to be doing work. And in COVID, I would get dressed, like get my jeans on, get my top on. Like
Really?
I had to get into that mindset of work. So I think for me, that's always been a massive thing. But getting dressed, even if I'm going to be at home, is so important for me, because I know what I'm like if I don't make my bed, or I don't have my supplements in the morning, or I don't get dressed, I'll be in the mindset of that, like, I'll sit in front of the TV, like, oh, like that deadline's not due anyway, I don't need to get it done, especially where you work for yourself. I think it's really important. But even if you're working from home, just
stick on the jeans.
There's so many like studies they've done, research that's been done into, they put lab coats on people, told them they were lab coats, told them to do an equation, they solved it faster than the ones that were told it was an artist's coat. Like there's actual...
Wow.
It lights up areas of your brain when you dress like that person. Like there is so much science behind it. So I always say to people, like, even if you can just dress, like that version, if you pop a blazer on, pop a pair of jeans on, got boot heels on, even if you're just at home, even if you're just running errands, like it's so important.
You've made me feel bad for doing my call-ins for shoots in my pajamas now.
Look, if it works for you, it works for you.
No, I think
But that's me. I need to be dressed up.
I think I'm going to try it because you've inspired me.
Though. I've got bare face. Skincare's done, bare face, outfits on.
Okay, I'm going to give that a go. Yeah. Has social media changed the way you dress or day to day? Or do you feel like you're more considered with your outfits rather than just...
I think my style has definitely, like, I'll look at outfits I wore a year ago and I'm like, what? I'm like, what is that? And I worked with Lauren this year a little bit on some things, just because when you are doing public speaking and filming and events like that and you're on stage, how I dress is different to what looks good. Like what looks good in photos and on stage
It's very different.
is very different to what looks good every day. And it kind of took me a while to figure that out, because I'd be like, I love this outfit. Why do I not like that? So I think I have to be a bit more considered in that respect. And I think where I'm sharing more of my life, it definitely feels like, you know, people will engage a bit more if they're like, oh, where's that from? Where's this from? And I think you're spending a lot more time on social media. So inevitably you're getting inspired a lot more. And I get like very inspired by the people around me. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so cool. And I'm shameless. I'm like, where's that from?
Oh, I do that.
Do you mind if I copy you? Like,
I'm happy to slide in those DMs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy to slide in. Like Kelly Hidge, I always message her. I'm like, where's it from? Need all the links, need all this. And like with you, probably the same. Like I will always ask someone where it's from. And like I'm the biggest, like I'm the least gatekeeper. Like I will tell everyone where it's from. I'm like, get it. If I show up to an event wearing the same dress as someone, I'm like, amazing.
Yeah.
I must be doing something right. I'm like,
It works.
twinning. Like I love it. Like that for me is such like a moment of like, I think because I had lacked so much confidence and still do to a point, like I'll message my best friend who is my biggest critic, and she's got the coolest, like she's wearing something 3 years before it's cool. Like she's just like, she's so on it. She's so cool. And by the time it's cool, it's not cool to her anymore. But she like, I will go to her because I still am lacking that confidence a little bit in my style, but I think I'm getting there to where I'm like, no, I think this looks good. I think this works actually.
I think you always look very comfortable in your look.
Comfort's key.
Yeah, but as in, you know your look, you're wearing it well. So I think, and like you said, your audience and community feel comfortable to ask you. And I think that's what's really important.
100%.
So we are bombarded on social media with what the perfect life is, what the perfect look is. How do you switch off to that? Or what tips would you give someone?
I think the first thing for me is being in this industry, I'm fully aware that everything you see is so curated.
And highlighted. And like half the looks you see will be someone doing a quick change on the street, doing like 10 different looks, and then their clothes get returned. So I think it's important to bear that in mind, that everything is smoke and mirrors, because I get that asked a lot, you know, my morning routine needs to be perfect. I'm like, the morning routines you see, and this is why I don't really film those morning routines to that degree of like, wake up, this. I'm like, first of all, that's being filmed in the middle of the day. Yes, it is.
And second of all, like that's taken a lot longer than it looks like it's taken. And that's why like when it comes to content with me, I'm like, I need it to be quick and easy. But just to know that social media is highlight. A lot of the content you see is for entertainment purposes, sometimes for educational purposes, but there's a purpose behind it. Like it's not just as black and white as it kind of appears. The second thing for me is I'm not someone who invests in trends per se. What I'll tend to do is I'll see a piece like these trousers, for example, that I love. And I saw someone wearing these and she was like, oh, I think I got them like 1 or 2 years ago. They were still in stock. Amazing. Got them. So at the minute, like this is my power piece that I'm building looks around. So I'll go onto Pinterest and I'll look up Hailey Bieber cargo pants.
Oh, okay.
And I don't care because I know that, I'm not saying I look like Hailey Bieber, but I know that I really like her style. I know that like some of her outfits like might, maybe it might work on me, or like, you know, I'll find like another influencer or celebrity. And I always say to people like, if you're trying to find the perfect beauty look, hair look, you don't know how to do it, find a celebrity because they've got stylists, makeup artists, hairstylists that they're paying thousands of pounds to make them look their absolute best. So take that advice for free with someone that either looks like you, has a similar colouring to you, has a similar body shape to you, similar height to you, whatever it is, whatever works for you. But I'll build around a piece and I'll look up like someone like Hailey Bieber or Pia Mance, someone whose style I love, and see how they've styled it. I don't care if the photo is from 5-6 years ago.
If you like it.
If I think the outfit looks good, I will then take pieces from my wardrobe and kind of build around it. Or if I'm thinking, okay, I've got a dinner coming up and I'd actually quite like to wear a blazer, or I'd quite like to wear this new dress that I've got, how are people styling it? And like, I don't go off trends per se. I go off like form, fit, and how it makes me feel. And I think like I've got Pinterest board that's called me and my friend Steph share one. We've got one that's called Rich Bitch Energy.
Love that.
And we've got one that's called Casual Outfits.
Okay.
And we've got very similar styles. So we both add into it as and when we're scrolling on Pinterest.
That is such a good thing as friends.
Exactly. So we've literally got like hundreds of outfits, and I'll scroll through and I'll be like, right, what do I feel like? Oh, that looks great. Like that's an outfit that I've got that. I can make that work with these shoes. That looks amazing. That's how I'm going to style it. And that's how we do it. and I'll save, like, I've got this thing called like a confidence diary where I take like mirror selfies, and I'll copy and paste the image into my notes. And it's like my confident looks I felt really good in, because we forget.
We do forget.
We forget what clothes we have. Got so many. We forget what clothes we have. We forget what it looks good with, how to style it. Like, so I'll always save down those looks. And I think that for me saves me from like those trends. Like, I might see something that looks good, but I will go onto that website and I will look at it from every angle, and I'm like, what's the fabric? Does that look good? You know, and if it doesn't look great on the website, I'm like, it's probably not going to look great on me if it doesn't look great on the website.
So you're a mindful shopper.
Very mindful shopper.
Mindful in all areas.
In all areas, I try to be mindful, yeah.
So you are going to be, well, you're a bride to be.
Bride to be.
How are you feeling dress hunting?
I feel like I found my dress, which is so bad, because like all my friends are going to hate me, because they're like, oh my God, we're going to go try on dresses and this. And I'm like, I actually think I found it before I've tried any on, but I am still going to go and try it on just for like the process,
fun.
just for the fun. But I've had my wedding Pinterest board ready a long time ago. And it's funny because when I scroll to the bottom of that, I'm like, oh my God, I would never wear that dress. You know, one from like 4 or 5 years ago that I've saved. But the dress I think I want, I'm just like, oh, that is everything I want and more. But I'm going to shop around a bit, just because I think with wedding dresses, I always thought I'd want something, I don't want to give too much away. I always thought I'd want something that would cover me a bit more and hide me a bit more, not so form-fitting. And actually, I think I'm going a bit more form-fitting, which I never in my wildest dreams. I was always like, I want the Vera Wang princess dress that they wear in Bride Wars.
Love those dresses.
Always, I was like, that's the dress that I want, you know, with like the grey. I was like, that's it, that's the dress. And actually tried on that shape, and I was like, that does nothing for me. So it's very important.
Isn't it crazy that you think something's going to work and it just doesn't?
And it just doesn't. So I'm going to book in a bunch of fittings, try them all on, and just see what happens.
And have fun with it.
And bring my most critical friends with me. Not the ones that are just going to tell me I look good and everything.
No, you need the critics.
I need the critics, yeah.
What's something you wish people knew about confidence that they rarely consider?
Oh, that's a great question. I think that confidence is not innate. It's a learned skill. Like anyone you know who's got that bravado, who's got that confidence, it's not something that just they're born with. It is absolutely something that you can cultivate and something that you can create within yourself. And I think that's going to look different for everybody. But there is so much behind your self-concept in your confidence. And by self-concept, I mean the way that you speak to yourself, the way that you speak about yourself. And that's largely dominated by when we're getting dressed, when we're picking those outfits, when we're looking in the mirror. And I always say to people, if you've got no time for anything else, the first and last 5 minutes of the day, your brain is in alpha theta state. Now, what that means is the brain waves are operating in such a way that your brain is incredibly susceptible to information. What that means is what you tell it is going to be filtered through to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is responsible for about 90% of your thinking. So consciously, we're aware of things, but a lot of the habits and behaviors we do are coming from our subconscious mind, because those neural pathways are like so solidly built based on our habits. What that means, bit of a science lesson there, is that if you can take that first and last 5 minutes of the day to speak positively to yourself, and I will speak about positive affirmations, but if you could just use that time, you know, if you're getting up and getting dressed straight away, or getting up and having a shower, or doing your skincare, looking in the mirror, if you can use that time to speak positively to that mirror image of yourself, what your brain will start to do is it will start to absorb that information into your subconscious mind, to the point where when and I've been doing this for a very long time, when I walk into a room, when I'm getting dressed, when I'm trying on that bikini, when I'm doing all of those things, when someone makes a comment about my body online that would have crushed me a few years ago, it doesn't bother me. It's water off a duck's back, because what my subconscious mind knows to be true is completely different to that. So it doesn't really bother me. And you start to notice different things and you start to feel better. It will start to filter through to your waking life, and you'll start to notice the days that you look good, and you'll start to feel good, and it will start to feel really natural. So I think if people could understand that confidence is something you can absolutely learn and add into your life if you just take the time to do it. And that for me has been tried and tested the most effective way. And in the last 5 minutes before you go to sleep, just taking that time not to berate yourself, or I wish I'd said that differently, I wish I'd done that differently. What went right? You know, when did I feel good? What went right? And when you do the things like the confidence tracker of the outfits, and you write down good things that happen to you, and you say those affirmations to yourself when you're getting ready, when you're looking in the mirror, it will start to rewire your brain. It will start to rewire the way that you see yourself. And when you see yourself differently, like when you genuinely see yourself differently in that confident light, it will start to radiate through your behavior. And all these things are linked. But I think the reason it's unsurprising that so many people lack confidence when we wake up and the first thing we're doing is reaching for our phone.
I was exactly going to say that.
And we're seeing either something awful, or we're seeing someone who we're comparing ourselves to, or we're seeing someone who, you know, oh, I wish I had that life. I wish I looked like that. Why didn't I have that much money? Why am I not that shape or size? You know, why am I not all these things? And it's, you know, it's little things we don't notice. And I notice it a lot with the women I work with. So you look amazing today. Oh, no, I don't.
Why do we all do this?
And what we're telling ourselves in that moment is, I don't deserve that compliment, and no, I don't look good. And you think it's silly, and we think it's like tongue in cheek, whatever, it doesn't matter. What we tell our brains, it believes to be true. So in the same way that I spoke about earlier, that pretending to be asleep to fall asleep, what you tell yourself, your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined, and it doesn't know the difference between good and bad. It knows what you tell it, what you do, and what you need. And in order to keep you safe, it does what it's always done. And by doing what it's always done, it repeats the thought loops it's always had. So when you're getting ready in the morning, you're telling yourself, this looks bad, I look this, I look that, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. Your brain knows that to be the way to keep you safe. So it will repeat it every day unless you rewire your brain. So I wish more people knew that. About everything, but about confidence especially.
That's amazing, because it's even funny, as a stylist, I will go around my client's house and dress them. And I guess they have the same, you know, they're like, oh, that doesn't look right on me. But there I am saying, yes, it does. You look amazing. So almost they get that in a slight way. Someone telling them, actually, this does look really good and you should love that.
Because we see them in the Zoom out.
Oh wow, I feel like I've learned so much.
We see them in the, you know, we don't look at our friends and the people around us or the people we're working with. We don't zoom in on their insecurities because we're not crazy. Yeah, some people do, but we don't do that. You know, like we don't zoom in on those things. We see them as the person they are. And I always kind of think that, you know, I'm always like, if I ever do compare myself, I'll think like, but that person looks amazing. Why am I, you know, I think she looks amazing. So why do I not feel amazing? You know, it's like the weirdest thing, but you can definitely learn that confidence.
I'd love to sometimes go outside of your body and be able to see yourself just going around in life.
Oh my God, I'll see myself on a video and I'm like, oh, is that what I look like?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
That's fine.
It's not too bad.
Because in pictures, there's something about pictures that's just, it's too like,
I think the problem,
I can't explain it, but pictures are just, I always think like, I'm like, video yourself in an outfit and see how it moves and see, you know, because like it's how you see something static is just not really...
a bit awkward.
It's a bit awkward, yeah.
It is. And the thing is now with so many apps, you've got the face apps and tunes and whatever you can do with yourself, you're never going to be happy because now it's like everyone gets a picture and they're Hollywood me.
Hollywood me? Is that a thing people are doing now?
Yeah, on FaceApp.
Love it.
It's crazy.
Good for them.
I wonder what you think about this. I write myself the letter every year. Have you seen that to your future self?
Yeah, it's so funny you say that. I'm working on a workshop at the minute and I mentioned that to the person. I was like, let's do a letter to our future selves. It's such an amazing thing to do.
I love it.
I love it. It gets you so excited about the year ahead.
It really does, doesn't it? And especially 100%. When you look back. So I'll write where I am when I'm writing the letter, what I hope to achieve and it's brilliant.
Yeah. That's how I got engaged.
Really?
No, well, I mean, maybe.
Kind of.
I was like, I will be engaged this time next year. And it happened, so maybe.
You wrote it in his manifesting book.
Exactly. I wrote it in him, whispered it into his phone.
Every night.
Yeah, every night in his ear.
The last 5 minutes before bed.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes. I was like, marry me. Ask me to.
So we've got a game of fashion this or that.
Gorgeous.
So no overthinking, quick fire answers. Oversized blazer or fitted blazer?
Oversized blazer.
Gold jewellery or silver jewellery?
Gold jewellery.
Colour blocking or neutrals?
Neutrals.
Trainers with dresses or heels with jeans?
Heels with jeans.
I feel like from our conversation I already know all these answers. Yeah. Capsule wardrobe or maximalist wardrobe?
Capsule wardrobe.
Statement bag or statement shoe?
Both?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Matching sets or mixing separates?
I like matching sets. Nice, easy uniform.
Great for on stage.
Great for on stage.
High street or vintage?
Vintage bags.
Yes.
High street, everything else.
I love that. I love a bit of designer in your accessories.
Yeah.
High street
I prefer
outfit.
vintage bags. I think it's like more fun, like looking for them. Also, I can't play that game of like
Being on the wish list.
I can't play the wish list game.
No,
I can't play
not
that
here
game.
for
I'm
it.
too
And
impatient for
they're
that.
so expensive now.
And they're so expensive. I'm too impatient. They're so expensive. I love finding a bargain, especially when it comes to a bag.
I love a sample sale.
Yes.
I'm a sample sale girl. Next up is fashion red flags or green flags.
Okay.
Buying an outfit just for Instagram picture.
Red flag.
Skinny jeans.
I like skinny jeans.
See, I think there's such a mix.
I've always liked skinny jeans. When they went out of fashion, that was half my wardrobe gone.
That was a tough time for you.
That was a hard time for me. That's still not quite recovered. But I love now like a slim fit jean. I like
With
it.
a cool. I'm kind of here for a boot. Ripped jeans.
Again, I think a singular rip is quite cool and like a vintage pair of Levi's, but the lots of rips I can't really get on board with.
We used to call them the baggy shaggies.
Yeah, no, and it's a shame because I'll find a perfect shape jean and then it's got like 10,000 rips in it, and I'm like, well,
it's so hard with jeans because they do come and go so often. So sometimes I'll do my client's wardrobe and I'll be like, skinny jeans are gone, we're getting them all out, and then 2 years later I'm like,
they're back.
So sad we got rid of all those skinny jeans of yours.
Yeah, because they're back.
Micro bags.
Hate. Red flag.
Red flag. Clothing with slogans. You could have a little mindset, little slogan.
I think I like when it's exactly like I like when it's something like funny, or I like when it's like a hotel cap or something like that. I like caps with slogans on them. I think clothes with lots of logos on them, like designers, no, don't like that.
A bit scary.
Yeah.
Tabby shoes, the toe shoes.
Red flag. Have you seen the story about the girl who got them stolen by her date?
No.
There was a girl who had her tabbies stolen by her date and it went viral. And you need to everyone needs to look this up because it's quite the tale.
Why stole them? Because
he had a girlfriend and stole them for his girlfriend. Yeah, so he hooked up with this girl to steal her tabbies.
No.
Yeah. Imagine that.
I don't know if I'd allow...
Imagine that. You're like in the bar, you're like, so what size shoe are you? Yeah.
Did he know what size shoe she was before?
Don't know, but he stole her tabbies. Honestly, it's quite the story. You need to look it up.
This is
but red flag for me, based largely on that story.
Because
yeah,
you don't want them stolen.
I don't want them stolen. Yeah.
Jewels?
What?
Jewels?
No,
red
absolutely
flag.
not for me.
Crop tops?
No, big red flag.
Double denim?
Love
Green
double flag.
Denim. Amazing. So I find with my clients or even my followers, they ask a lot about being overwhelmed in the changing room or first dates, first interviews, my clients' red carpets, and it's all a bit, it gets a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
What's these little techniques or quick wins when you're in that moment? What can you do?
Okay, so there's a few things you can do. One, which I love, if you can do this is probably better for like a telephone interview or like something like that, or potentially a first date, is splashing your hands or your face with cold water. Especially if you've got like clammy hands, you're feeling nervous, cold water on the veins, and then like splashing yourself a little bit with that cold water if you can. Obviously, you don't want to ruin your makeup if it's like, so if it allows for it. And what that does is it kind of like shocks your system almost and kind of like eases the anxiety a little bit. It's a bit like cold water therapy, but on like a very minor scale. The second thing I would say, and this is especially like if you're in a change room, you're just feeling that sense of overwhelm, is a physiological sigh. And how you do that is you do an inhale through your nose, another short inhale, and then a long. So, and what that does is it signals your nervous system to relax. So
I weirdly do feel relaxed.
And it will kind of like get you away from that like potential anxiety attack or panic attack that you might be feeling. Another thing you could do is kind of use visualization. So you might picture yourself greeting your friend. So if it's before like a red carpet, before an event, before a date, or if you are in the changing room, you could just like take a moment, close your eyes, picture yourself greeting a friend. And what that does, and that kind of, that smiling, that feeling relaxed, is that actually triggers social confidence versus pressure. And that can be applied in like lots of different ways. But I think those three techniques are probably the ones that are like quickest and easiest to do.
Quick fixes.
And you can also have like in mindset coaching, what I'll do a lot of the time, and this is probably something you want to work on like ahead of it if you know there's something you get nervous about, but picturing yourself in those situations and then picturing a time when you felt really confident and finding an anchor on your body. So that might be your thumb. That might be kind of like tapping your hand, and EFT tapping, something that I could get into, but take a very long time to explain. But look up EFT tapping. It's a really powerful technique. But finding an anchor that you can bring yourself back to. So you kind of anchor that feeling of confidence. So you picture a time where you felt really confident on stage or doing whatever you are, anchor it. And then when it comes to the moment, finding that anchor and really bringing yourself back to that moment. But where visualization is so amazing is you've done it in your head so many times before, because what our body does in the moments of before we go on stage, you know, that's like the biggest, I think that's globally the biggest fear is public speaking, or before a date or before something like that. If you visualized it before, your brain doesn't activate the amygdala, which is your fear center. And when your fear center is activated, it overrides your prefrontal cortex, which is your decision-making, your conscious mind. So it's when we feel that anxiety and that stress that really takes over and means that we can't almost be rational with ourselves. It's because that's going on in our brain. But if you visualize something before, several times before, so getting up on a stage, whatever it is, your brain's already done it. So the fear center isn't activated quite so much, and you're able to think clearly and kind of regulate your nervous system and mood a bit more than you might have been otherwise.
And does that work in the opposite way when you know, sometimes I can think of things and I think I've got to walk up the stairs, I'm gonna fall. So do you have to really try and stop that? Because I always do that.
There's definitely there's space for negative visualization. Again, this is something that would take a really long time to explain, but there is space for it in the sense of sometimes visualizing something negatively happening can allow you to think, okay, well, if that's the worst case scenario, then I'll get up and I'll move on, and that's okay. Yes. And the fear of it kind of depletes a little bit. But yeah, I would say that's not visualization. When it comes into your head as a kind of intrusive thought, that's not intentional.
Okay.
Visualization is the intentional act of sitting there and visualizing that kind of positive outcome, generally speaking. Intrusive thoughts are another thing that we can't really control. We just have to bat them away as much as we can and know that they are a really normal human part of existence, because your brain's job is to protect you. And we're not cavemen anymore. We don't have tigers running after us. So there's not that much threat. So what our brain will do is it will start to create threat. And whether that's perceived, whether that's real, it likes to kind of find where the threat could be, even if that's us thinking worst case scenario. But that's not visualization. That's those thoughts coming in.
Different. I love I don't know if you've ever watched This Is Us, and the couple in it always do worst case scenario, and then it becomes a bit of a joke and laugh about it.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, so we're not even thinking about it now.
It's like, what's the worst that could possibly happen, you know? And is that likely to happen? Probably not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
And most likely not.
Most likely not.
And one thing, is it a complete myth when people say, just imagine everyone naked?
I've never done that.
Because I don't think that would help me.
I don't think that would help me either, to be honest with you. I think that would sort of freak me out a little
Same.
bit.
Why is everyone naked?
Why is everyone naked? I think I've never had a fear of public speaking, so I can't vouch for that as a technique. But for me, like a sea of faces, I mean, my eyesight's quite bad now anyway, but for me, that sea of faces just blurs into one little bit. I'd be more nervous to give a talk to like 2 people than I would to 2,000 people. So I don't know, give it a go, I guess, and see what happens. But I think that would distract me a little bit.
Honestly, thank you so much. You've given me so many tips, and the listeners. And where can we find you?
Thank you so much for having me. I love this. I could talk to you forever. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, just at Izzy Utterson, Izzy with 2 Zs.
So definitely check out if you want to get a bit of a glow up, I guess.
Absolutely.
Today has blown me away. Izzy's amazing advice and tips will definitely be something that I will be implementing into my everyday. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a quick review, as it really helps. And if you want to see the outfits we discussed, make sure to catch the video version on YouTube. This production is brought to you by Purposely Different Productions.